Hi, it's Keith from White Rose Canoe, and today I'm going to take a stroll and paddle down the Ipswich River. It's August 9 and we've had extreme drought conditions here, so the river is well down. I expect to walk probably a little bit less than I paddle, but I thought it'd be a good example of what's going on. So the first thing I'm going to do is stop this and turn it around so you can see what I'm doing. These rocks are where the water normally is during spring and last year actually for most of the summer. So you can see how far down the banks it's gone. So we'll see what it is going down, where it's dry and where it's waiting and where it's paddleable. I know down by Mill Street Bridge, it's going to be an interesting spot down there for you to see. So anyway, let's get going. Oh, before I start, I'm paddling a Novacraft Fox with a removable yoke in it because I may be carrying it for more than just a couple of steps. I'm also got a dry pack. It's on my back right now. I'm going to throw it in the boat to make that easier. And the only question I have is, if you're walking down the river because it has dried out, does that count as a portage? We'll figure that out. So this is that first stretch of the dry space just from below the launch. So this is something I expect to be doing a fair amount, which is towing the boat behind me by the painter as we work our way down to the next spot, find out if it's deep enough. Paddle. Something else I'll be doing a fair amount of is using this closet pole, not only for moving the boat, but when you're walking, for probing ahead to see what's mud, what's rock, and what's walkable. Okay, so on we go. Okay, stretch of clear paddling water here, so we're going to do that for a bit. I'm using a Bending Branches beaver tail for this. Quick shot just to give you an idea of where the bank is normally versus now. This is a first. I'm under a rain of what are some kind of nuts. There's apparently a squirrel or two up there, and they're busy munching down, and these are literally raining around. I don't know if you can see them through the water, but you can see them scattered all under here, hopefully. Okay, this is a big cross-river block that was new about a year and a half or so ago. It's been curated out. You can see some of the cuts that were made by the river wardens from the Ipswich River Watershed Association, which really helped clear it out. Downriver side of that block, you can see the stone bar there. Okay, so we've reached the old Stone Weir. You can see that right down there. This is an interesting part of the river. Normally you have to go over that at the far right, river right side, so that way. And you can see this blowdown forces you all the way left, so you have to come around the blowdown, scoot almost straight across to make the right-hand spot where you can get through there at most high to medium waters. And that's the chute that you can get through if there's no other viable location. You got to be a little careful because you really got to punch to miss that tree. I actually got pinned there in a 12-foot trapper because I didn't get the bow kicked left quickly enough as I was coming through the chute and hung up on that tree. Managed to get it off, no harm, no foul, but learned my lesson. I'm about halfway between the weir and the little crossing suspended footbridge there. Been waiting since the weir down here, probably wait a little bit past the bridge. This is actually deeper than it was a couple, 3 years ago in the really bad drought we had then. In this case, a lot of this was absolutely dry. It's looking up at the Mill Street Bridge, and you can see just how dry. This is the first set of rocks directly below that bridge, and you can see a lot of grass growing in there. So very, very little water. And this is turned around and looking downstream from that same point towards the second series of rocks, and all of that stuff is exposed. Small flock of ducks defending their territory here, sitting on the wall that's now exposed again because of the low water that we're seeing. Here's the last bit of really dry stuff, pretty much just a little bit above the railroad bridge, where the dam impoundment starts to take effects and raise the water level. I'm back at the shop now, just kind of wrapping things up. So it's a great kind of walk slash paddle down the Ipswich. Not quite as dry as I think the big one we had a couple years ago, but pretty close. And the same spots are coming up. There is still water to paddle. If you put in down at Peatsfield or River Bend near the dam down in Ipswich, or up by Foot Brothers, just above the Willowdale Dam, there's water there because of the impoundment, so you can still get out in the water and have a good time. But with the drought and the draws that people are putting on the river, obviously there's not much water a lot of places, and that not only impacts our ability to paddle, but it impacts the whole ecosystem up there. So I guess a little plug is if you're in the Ipswich watershed, pay attention to the watering bans. Don't use water that you draw from the river any more than you absolutely have to, and hopefully we'll get some rain soon. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you soon.